Hello, good evening, and welcome to Talk Sport, where football meets analysis, passion meets perspective, and headline tells a bigger story. This is Premier Sports Fan Center, and my name is Yinka Adebuyi. Friends call me the Doc around here. Tonight, we unpack three major developments shaking the football world, and Tottenham's dramatic decision to sack Thomas Frank, Benjamin Sesko's last gasp heroics for Manchester United, and Cristiano Ronaldo's reported frustration in Saudi Arabia. A story that could reshape global football once again. This is not just about results. It is about pressure, legacy, ambition, and power. Let's begin in North London. And joining me tonight for the analysis of these beautiful topics and subjects of football is Pauloski. Paulo, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So we go straight into North London right now, and we're looking at Tottenham Hotspur sacking Thomas Frank. Panic on necessity. On 11 February 2026, Tottenham Hotspur dismissed Thomas Frank after only 8 months in charge. The final blow, a 2-1 home defeat to Newcastle, a result that leaves Spurs 16th on the league table, just 5 points above relegation zone. For a club that speaks about project and long-term vision, this feels like a sharp contradiction. You will agree with me. Was Frank the problem, or is Tottenham structure the real issue? We will find out very, very soon. Spurs have been stuck between ambition and instability for years. From Mourinho to Conte to Postecoglou, and now Thomas Frank. And now, was sacking Thomas Frank the correct football decision, or another example of Tottenham lacking patience and direction? Paulo.
Well, I think it's both because I look at Tottenham Hotspur and what they've done. I think they've looked at other clubs, in the league, and they look at the team itself and the brand itself called Tottenham Hotspur. A team like Tottenham Hotspur should not be flirting with relegation. And you look at Tottenham, they believe that if the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea could sack the manager and bring on interim or probably new managers, and suddenly they're on the rise. I think they themselves can also do it. But I think Tottenham Hotspur they don't have that patience enough. Apart from, I think the longest I've seen a manager stay with them should be probably Mauricio Pochettino, who was able to guide them to about 200 plus games. Apart from him, I don't think there's any manager that's lasted up to 120 games with them. We remember Mourinho coming on, Antonio Conte, Nuno Espirito Santo, and Jibo. So all of them all together. So, but at the same time, they want to look at clubs that have been, patient enough to give, managers, time. But you look at Tottenham, I think where Tottenham is getting it strong is not about the managers. I think it's the recruitment of players, which the board have not, addressed. So, if you ask me, like the question, I think it's a combination of both.
Right, so a combination of both. It might be perhaps the management is missing something, and perhaps the players need some rejigging. And at 16th place and flirting with relegation danger, is this squad underperforming, or is the club's recruitment model fundamentally flawed? I know you said something about recruitment the other time, but assertively, I'd like you to talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's both. The team is underperforming, and the recruitment is very, way below the standard is supposed to be at Tottenham. I could remember the days they had the likes of Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, they have Vantogin, they have Toby Adeweb, Ugo Lloris, and you look at Sport right now. I don't think there's any players there that I can say this is an elite player at the moment. All they have are just flashy players that perform once in 2 months, not just once in a month, once in 2 months.
And Solanke
and co. And they have a very, very rough tackling captain. Talking about Cristiano Romero, he's not a reliable defender. So I think they have issue with recruitment. They've not been able to bring in the right caliber of players that the club needs to move forward. Though some will say they've been spending a lot of money. Yes, they've been spending monies on those players, but are they the right profit? Are they the right fit? And how do Tottenham itself want to play as a football club? Are they bringing the players that can play the Tottenham Hotspur way? I don't think so. So I think first of all, they've made a lot of mistakes in recruitment, and secondly, the players they've brought in, they are underperforming, and now they are flirting with relegation. And there's a possibility. I think I saw it. Is it this morning that they have about 70% chances of going to down to the relegation? And what Tottenham Hotspur fans should be worried now is that they need to look at the teams below them. You have the likes of Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Burnley, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think Burnley and Wolf will definitely go down, but West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and Tottenham Hotspur will have to battle it out. We saw Nottingham Forest yesterday, almost getting all 3 points. But
same with West Ham.
Yeah, and now and Tottenham Hotspur is finding it difficult to defeat those 3 teams. And you look at the fixtures that Tottenham have these days now. In fact, the whole of 2026, Tottenham have not won any game in the Premier League. So it's looking very, very dim for them.
Right, so it looks really, really bad for Tottenham. You can hear it right there from Polo. And this instability we're talking about, does it actually damage Tottenham's attractiveness to top managers and allied players moving forward?
Yeah, I think it does, because when you have managers that have, top elite managers that have coached there in the past, coming and living there and complaining. We remember Jose Mourinho, what he talked about Tottenham. Antonio Conte, the same thing. Even Ange Postecoglou, I think any top managers now will be looking at, the sport project and be looking at it's not a really, really viable one because the fee is very, very toxic. They recently let their chairman, Danny Levy, go also, the man who has been in charge of sport, recruitment and everything. And I think any top managers that want to take the Tottenham job, I want to believe he's taking that job probably because of maybe the money. I don't think look at Tottenham. I don't think it's very much attractive. Though they have the best, according to Start, one of the best stadiums in the league, and they have number crowds or supporters.
Yes,
they easily fill out
and their
their
location,
stadium, their location,
right
everything. But the brand as itself, I think it's going to be very hard for them to be able to attract an elite manager.
Right, so finally on Tottenham Hotspur, just before you take your breath right there, if you were Daniel Levy, what type of manager would you appoint next? A disciplinarian or a project builder or perhaps a proven winner? Who would you want to go?
Well, first of all, Daniel Levy is no longer with Tottenham anymore. Is he resigned or let go? I think at the start of the season. Or during the at the start of the season.
Right.
But if you ask me, I think the kind of players they need now is not for them to the players that will win them trophies immediately. I think they need players that will stabilize the team and make sure they get back to the position where they used to be. We know Tottenham used to compete for the top 4,
exactly,
the top 6, the top 5. But these days, now I think for the past 2-3 seasons now,
they've not been able
top
15.
Top 15.
Yeah, so despite winning Europa, they're still
winning the Europa League.
16th on the league.
And it's looking like they will even end like that this season again. So they need players that are capable of bringing stability back to the club, not necessarily winning any trophy, but you need to make sure you stabilize the team, like the way Arsenal did under Mikel Arteta. You could see the changes when he came in, started letting players go, the big ones, even the bigger names, players like Mesut Ozil and co. He let them go. Them some fans were complaining, why are you letting this go? And I think he believes those players didn't fit what he wants to achieve with the club, and he started bringing in those, and we saw the stability, and immediately the club was stable. You could see the progress they were making and challenging for. I think that is what Tottenham Hotspur need right now.
Right, so from crisis in North London, we move to drama in Manchester, where one moment of brilliance changed the narrative completely. So we're looking at Sesko's 96-minute volley. A star is born? Well, we'll find out. Man U was seconds away from defeat against West Ham. And then in the 96th minute of the game, Benjamin Sesko produced a stunning volley to rescue a point, and the goal preserved United's unbeaten run under Michael Carrick. Although it ended in their 4-game winning streak, but they were able to get a point, at least undefeated. This was more than a goal. It was a statement. Sesko is no longer just a potential. He's becoming decisive for United. Under Carrick, United appears calmer and more structured and less chaotic. But are they contenders of the EPL or simply stabilizing? So, I'm going to ask you now, Paul Lowe, was Sesko's goal a sign of elite mentality, the kind that defines future title challengers?
Well, I think first of all, on Benjamin Sesko, I think suddenly is enjoying his football at
Seems
Manchester
United.
Awakened, yeah, since the departure of Mourinho, and you have to look at Mourinho, his status and how he has been playing. Why is it that Manchester United players have been struggling, and suddenly under Michael Carrick they've been flourishing? So I think his goal that day was a very fantastic goal. I saw the goal, and it was a goal, capable of winning you all 3 points. But unfortunately, they were behind already in that game. So I think Benjamin Sesko, like you said, is actually enjoying his football now and trying to rediscover himself. Though under Michael Carrick, he has been finding it very difficult also to start games. But whenever called upon, he's coming on to prove his worth. And I think at the moment, talking about title challenge, I don't think Manchester United are challenging for any title. What they need first is to get back, just like I said about Tottenham, find a way to make sure they get themselves back into the top four. Right now, this season, they're not in the Champions League, they're not in the Europa League, they're not in the Conference League. They've been knocked out of all cup competition. So they need to make sure they get themselves back. Talking about challenging for the title, probably maybe next season, but not this season.
Right, so under Michael Carrick, are United genuinely progressing, or are they surviving on moments rather than dominance? When RVP, what's his name again? The one interim coach, Van Nistelrooy, came on. Yeah. They won about 3 games consecutively, and we thought they were revamped until they started losing. Now with Michael Carrick, now they won the 4 EPL games in a row, and then they had a draw. They almost lost this, but came back with a draw. So we're looking at this. Are they genuinely progressing, or are they just surviving on moments?
Well, at the moment, you could say it's both. You look at Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United. You could say it's about new brands, because what we see is that when most teams, sack their former manager and appoint new one, either interim or not, they tend to do well, in the first couple of weeks or months rather. So then you go on to see them, going back to their usual self. For Michael Carrick, I think this is the second time we were coming to take the job as an interim. The first time he came, he did well. I think he played about 2 games and he was undefeated then. He won one, probably draw one again, and now he's done that. Again by winning 4 consecutive games, but the 5th one, that is where he find he met a rock, and in fact they were very lucky to have to have gotten a point from him. But having said that, I think if you look at how they've been playing in the last 4 games, I think they are definitely making progress. But we'll just have to wait and see how they go. How they play going forward now after this setback they have.
All right, so we need to keep our fingers crossed and observe them for a few more games before we can decide whether they're genuinely moving forward or they're just flashing progress right there. So does this result keep United in the title conversation? Of course, you answered that. Does it expose that they are still a level below the very best? Of course, we know that even that result still shows that they are still the very.
Hello viewers, you're welcome to your favorite channel, the Premier Sports Fan Center. Yeah, it's Arsenal leading already 1-0 in that London derby right there. So Saliba put Arsenal ahead 1-0. So it's going to be an exciting time. It's an exciting matchup also it will be. And we'll see that Arsenal looks more like, they really want to grab this one and really hold on to it at the end of the day. So 24th minute of that encounter, It's Arsenal leading 1-0. Goal scored by Saliba. Yeah, Saliba, the Arsenal defender right there. The Arsenal centre back doing what what the team needed actually, but his primary duty was defending right there. So Arsenal has a corner kick right here, and let's see if they will convert that one. Headed out, and Easy we chase that one. So it's Chelsea that had that clearance right there. And before we go further, my name is Afulaya Adeyemi, and with me in the studio is Paulo, an Arsenal fan. Paulo, I noticed that before the game the pressure was eating up, but since Arsenal got that goal, it looks like, yeah, you can breathe a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And once again, like you apologize, sorry for coming a little bit late. So happy that we've gotten the first goal in this game. Like you said, rightfully said, the pressure was there, but at least the goal has given up something going forward. So it promises to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, it's already looking like one game. There will be goals, right, left, and center. Fernandez will pick Chris James down the right. James set it off for Pedro Neto. Neto running with the ball right here. Yes, Chelsea still in possession. Chelsea trying to build up from left to right to see if they can come back into this one. Plays a swift 1-2. Oh, the Arsenal player intercepts that one. And that'll be a free kick to Arsenal. Foul against Moises Caicedo. Looking at this game, from the beginning, it looks like a game that Arsenal should be taking. But sometimes what is on paper is not always what is on field.
Yeah, and you look at the record coming into this game between both teams. I think this should be the fourth time we'll be playing this season. Chelsea have visited the Emirates Stadium this season in the League Cup, and Arsenal actually won that one very late, 1-0. And I think Arsenal need both teams. To be honest, both teams needed the victory in this game because right now Chelsea they've dropped to I think fifth on the log, and Arsenal also Manchester City are breathing heavily behind Arsenal, so they need a win both teams. But I think Arsenal has I think Arsenal needed it more.
Well, Paulo said Arsenal needed it more, but looking at where Chelsea is, if Arsenal still play a draw in this game, Arsenal will still remain on top.
Yeah, we still remain on top, and at the same time, Chelsea. But to me, I think a draw for Arsenal will be seen as a loss at this moment because you are playing at home, one, and at the moment you have the home advantage. Yes, you have the form at the moment. Arsenal looks more stable in terms of players, form, everything than Chelsea. So it's a game they should be taking all 3 points. A draw, though, will not be end of the world, but they will still be top. But I think even for both teams, I don't think either of the team will appreciate a draw in this game.
Yeah, so one team taking out 3 points.
Yeah, more especially for Arsenal. Arsenal should be going for all out for the 3 points.
Yeah, Arsenal should be all out for the 3 points. It's in London derby. Emirates is the location. Saka tries to cut in justice for his teammate, and the Clarence shoots. That one will not go on target. And there was this news that filtered out that if Arsenal wins the league and Champions League, that the Clarence will be considered for the world best.
Well, he's been one of the most standard player for Arsenal. Not just Arsenal only, but also, not for only Arsenal, also in the Champions League and across Europe. And if he can, help Arsenal. Last season, Arsenal didn't win anything, but we saw where he ended up. He was in the conversation, and we saw where he ended up. And right now, he's doing everything possible for Arsenal. I think if Arsenal can win the league and the Champions League, that will give him a great chance. But I don't know if we'll be able to win it. But it will give him a very good chance going forward.
Well, that will make him look more like one of the favorites to win it. But
Top contender.
can you say he should actually win?
Well, he can. We've seen
Because you have to bear in mind that it's a World Cup here.
Yeah, also, and all those things we.
England can fancy their chances of winning the
World Cup. Yeah, England has the World Cup. Yeah, England has been coming close. Look at the last World Cup, the last Euro, the Nations League and co. You know, they've been coming close, and I think it's
not been close
in the World Cup. I think they ended in
for you to come close, you get to the final.
They ended in the semi-final. They've been coming close, you know, getting closer and closer to it. We saw them at the Euros, you know, the Nations League, and it's either the end in the semi-final or the finals, which they've been, you know, losing. But you look at the England player they have this time around. I think most of them are in their prime. So you see, say they have young players, but I think at the moment those young players they are really doing.
So do you see Kopama going to the World Cup with 3 laps?
Well, definitely he will be going to the World Cup. The only thing I don't know if he will be starting, but going to the World Cup, I think is.
You think he will be selected?
Be honestly, I
because
think.
If you look at the season, it has been a season filled with injury.
Yeah, but I think I will still be selected. You know. He might not be starting games, but we still have about 2 to 3 months before the season ends, and he can still, you know, get himself back to form.
So long ball forward by Arsenal. Still 32nd minute in that one. Still Arsenal leading 1-0 from that dead ball situation. They call them corner kick FC for a reason. They've scored from a corner kick today also. So Chelsea attacking down the left. Can they bring up from this? João Pedro with the ball, slows down the tempo, sends it back to his teammate, and it's Chelsea trying to break down this stubborn Arsenal defense. But hey, Arsenal wins it back right there, and they will try to attack down the left. Yes, the Arsenal player beats his marker, attacking with the ball. And here, what can he do with the ball? He passes the ball to his teammate. Oh, deflected by the Chelsea player. And Chelsea will win back possession. Still Chelsea attacking. Now this game is attacking end to end. And yes, each of the teams is trying to be careful defensively. Arsenal knowing that if you can take that 1-0 off, that's a 3-point at the end of the day. Now, looking at the way this game is panning out, would you say Arsenal should be more careful about their defense than getting more goals?
Well, I think they should be wary of both the defense. In fact, every angle of the field, including the midfield, you know, all the wings. What Arsenal just need for the remainder of this game is for them, you know, if they can keep Chelsea away from scoring, that means they will get all 3 points. And if they can't do that, they need to make sure they outscore Chelsea, and the all 3 points, you know, will be secured. Defensively, we've always known that Arsenal are one of the best when it comes to, you know, defending football. But of late, you see Arsenal conceding goals and you know, here and there. But offensively, Arsenal have not been the best this season. If you ask me, though we've scored a lot of goals also, but I think our defense have more coordination. They understand each other than our attack. So I think Arsenal should be, you know, not just try to just defend the game. There's still time, but also try and find a way to kill off the game.
Yeah, Arsenal needs to find a way to kill off the game. And look at it right there. Kopama is on the field, sitting down, like it seems injured.
Yeah, it looks like injured, and it looks like a bit serious. You know, the way they've gathered him there. But let's see if we'll be able to continue. We didn't see the replay of. I think he just went down on his own. And,
I think he's not fully. And Estevao also is out in.
Yeah, I don't even understand Estevao of late. I don't. Is he out injured or because there was a time, you know, the reason he didn't play. Yeah,
he's back from family reason. And all of a sudden, before the game at the bridge, only game, just heard that.
Is this going an own goal or Saliba goal?
I think this will be an own goal.
because there was another contact there.
Yeah, from yeah, Mohamed Salah. And you know, it is one thing to look at the Chelsea setup and see that no, these boys will still need time before they can gel into anything solid at the end of this. So, um, it looks like Kopama
Wow.
will be able to continue. And that's the $1 million question right there. And let's see if he will be able to continue.
Well, maybe they'll be looking at his fitness and looking at him playing maybe another the end of the end of the first half.
Because Chelsea will need him for the UEFA Champions League also. The pairing is not funny. Pairing is not funny at all. It's PSG. What do you think about that Chelsea PSG?
Well, it's definitely a blockbuster. The Champions League holder and the Club World Cup winner, and both teams played each other in the final of the Club World Cup, and surprisingly, it was Chelsea. In fact, I don't think there's anybody that would have predicted the way that game ended. I know a lot of people, or maybe Chelsea fans, will say Chelsea will win, but nobody would have thought it would be very, very. To me, it was very easy, for Chelsea in that game. So, but PSG, they'll be feeling we have another opportunity to, at least show them what we are made of. So, looking forward to that game, and I expect both teams, to also partly it out.
And Arsenal has a chance to make it two right here. They can make it count. Gakares tries to beat his marker, but his shot was blocked. Let's see the follow-up shot. Oh, straight to Sanchez in goal right there. So straight to the lineup of Arsenal. David Raya in goal. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Nkampe are playing behind Zubimendi, and Declan Rice playing behind Saka. Eze and Trossard playing behind Guy Carres. And Chelsea also started with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Sanchez in goal. Ato, Chalobah, Sarr, and James. Talking about the defensive players missing for Chelsea, would you say that we have a say in Chelsea's season, how Chelsea's season play out?
It's definitely going to have a say. I don't think if anybody, any team, they are both 5 and 6, or the defenders that they've been used to each other.
Now, Fofana is out of this game. Cucurella is out of this game, and we know about Colwill also.
Yeah, I think Kobe is back training, but he's not fully fit. He was out right from the beginning of the season. But I think Chelsea should be trying and looking for a way to bring back. I think they need Cucurella more than any other ones out at the moment now.
Yeah, and Estevao was out due to a muscle injury, and we don't actually know how long he's out, and it's quite an injury list for Chelsea, also plus suspension.
Yeah, and it's getting to the towards the business end of the league season, and now I think at the moment now Chelsea needs to start picking their priorities. Because I don't say how Chelsea will win the league. I think they should be focusing on probably making the top 4 and see if they can go ahead and win the Champions League. So though they're still in the FA Cup, so the manager now needs to prioritize making sure he reserve players for those matches they need and the ones they
I
can really
just
need.
think that if not that most of the squad are just guys just growing up, it's not something that they can't manage. But many of these guys are not men; they are still boys. So when John go mature,
at the same time, I think the difference between Arsenal and Chelsea is that we all agree Chelsea had injuries, but also you look at Arsenal also. They've been battling injuries, so one player goes, another one come. Like today now, the captain is not on the field. He's not playing. Out of this game. Mikel Merino out also. But the difference is that Arsenal, they've been able to get their players going. Whoever they call upon to come in, always give his best. We saw at the beginning of the season.
Because they are full mature players. For instance, like Eze, Eze can do a good job, but if Kopama is out, who will deputize?
That's
That's the difference.
that's
So when there are too many guys just going up the ranks, you see that there's fire on the mountain.
so and at the same time, if we talk about that, that's when we start looking at the Chelsea transfer, policy. Yeah, I think that one has to do with that.
And that's what a lot of Chelsea fans have been talking about. This same transfer policy. Back to that encounter, 42nd, I think, minute of that one, and Arsenal still lead right here, 1 goal against Chelsea. So let's see who come out tops at the end of the day. But so far, so good for us.
Yeah, so far so good. Arsenal leading. I think this is what every Arsenal fans would have would like or want in this game, including Mikel Arteta. So Arsenal just need, to be 100% focused in this game. In this kind of games, you need to be focused. Chelsea is not Wolf or Brighton and Co that you just switched off. So you just need to be very focused. And so far, I think Arsenal have been doing good in this game.
So Chelsea still attacking from left to right, and Kopama with the ball right here, and they're playing the run. What was that? What was that?
I think there was a contact there. It looks like it's going to be a corner kick.
No, that's a good.
Just have to confirm again. It's actually a goal kick. And I think Chelsea also, they need to be, very, very serious going forward, because now they are behind Manchester United, and they are not taking advantage of, Aston Villa, more especially Chelsea. I think they are not really taking advantage of Aston Villa's form, because you look at Aston Villa, they've been on that point for like probably the last 5 games in the league.
When Chelsea keeps losing points from a winning position against
it looks like Manchester United have even moved to 3rd now.
Yes, they will. I think they have more goal difference than Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Just to confirm that it's not rocket science.
And now Chelsea and Liverpool, I think they're on the same point.
Man U is 3rd now on goal difference.
And Chelsea and Man U on and Liverpool rather on the same point. And now
if Chelsea wins today, Chelsea is now 6th, just 2 points ahead of Brentford.
Wow.
So if they want to come up, they need to do something.
And now they'll be facing that same Aston Villa that hasn't won any game in the league for the last 5 games.
It's actually a way to cancel out your opponent. But with the way they are playing today, they are not showing stuff that they want to do anything. So Arsenal attacking right there, Guy Carres, and he beat his marker. But that was good defending by the Chelsea defender right there. Chalobah are doing some defensive work right there. So Chelsea will pounce on that, try to build up from defense to attack. And this is Gerard Ato, who set the ball into the box. Oh, Pedro Neto will shoot, but Nkampe was there to do something about that. And yes, it is a corner kick to Chelsea. And look at that.
Wow. Was there a contact there?
No, I think it touched the ball.
I think they played on, so it's going to be corner kick to
corner kick to Chelsea. That's the 45th minute of that one. Oof. That was close.
Very, very close there. I think Arsenal needs to be very careful and they need to be calm. David Raya on the 12th day now.
Oh, this is...
Wow. I think that would have ended at the back of the net if not for the goalkeeper there. And was it Declan Rice touch there?
I think it was Declan Rice.
And the goal... Oh. Hope he's not injured. Okay, I think but that was a very good save there, and a let off there for us now. That could have been an home goal also. Declan Rice there. Looking at the replay again.
That's a foul. That's a foul.
So it looks like it's going to be another corner kick to Chelsea. Yeah.
So corner kick to Chelsea. So it's like Chelsea is back in it. Chelsea just put one back. Wow, what a game of football. Oh my goodness. Reece James right there. Oh my goodness. Arsenal fans won't like this because you need to understand that they've waited so long to dash their hopes. Won't be one thing that they will really appreciate.
Yeah, looking at the replay again, I think was it direct or
that's what I want to see.
Was that on home goal?
Let's see. It looks like either Nkampe
I think
or
there was a contact from Nkampe. I think it was the Arsenal guy that I think headed that one into his own back of the net there. Yeah.
Oh, it was Nkampe.
That was an home goal there.
That was an home goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was counted as Nkampe's own goal.
So it's game on now.
In that encounter, and oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, it is what it is. Football has its way of surprising us all. When it comes to this game of football, sometimes surprises are unexpected. Some are expected. When you see some, you just have to smile at the end of the day. So, 1-1 it is at the Emirates Stadium. Let's see who will laugh last at the end of this encounter. In the 3rd minute of additional time. So let's see what will go down at the end of the day. So Arsenal has a throw-in. Clarence would like to fling this into the box. Chelsea clears their line. That will go straight. The Arsenal defender set it straight to Rivalry, who will link up down the left straight. And Chelsea trying to defend. Arsenal pouncing the attack. They cross into the box. Headed out by the Chelsea defenders. And now it has become a tug of war in this one. So, it is still going to be a long evening of football right there at the Emirates Stadium. Paulo, Arsenal 1, Chelsea 1.
Yeah, it has been a game that's been living up to expectation. You see both teams going, toe to toe against each other. And Arsenal, what a terrible way to, concede, heading that ball into your own back of the net. I don't understand what was trying to do there. He flicked that one back. I don't think it should be flicking it back. I think if he wants to flick it, he should be flicking it up backward, but not downwards there. Because even if the ball didn't end at the back of the net directly, you might have a Chelsea player that would have easily tapped that one in there. But not everything still. The game now balanced now, and I think it's still game on, and the halftime has just finished. So let's see what will happen in the second half.
So it's halftime in that encounter. Yeah, Saliba from the corner kick put Arsenal ahead. Chelsea also from the corner kick in campaign doing that own goal, making it 1-0 at halftime. So what do you expect second half for Arsenal?
Yeah, I expect Arsenal to be, hungrier in the second half and come out with purpose and try and find a way to get themselves back into the lead again. And I said it earlier on. Arsenal needs to make sure they keep a clean sheet or find a way to outscore Chelsea. So what Arsenal need now is that they need to find a way to outscore Chelsea, because right now they can no longer keep a clean sheet in this one. So they just need to find a way to outscore Chelsea, and if they can do that, I think they will have every chance of winning all 3 points in this one.
So all 3 points is not still far-fetched. So second half, what do you expect Chelsea to do?
Well, Chelsea just have to keep the momentum going. They've not been bad in this game, and I don't think they've been the very best also. So they just need to keep the momentum going, and they still have other attacking option to call on, but I don't think the manager needs to rush into making any changes as early as possible in the second half. But they themselves, like we've been saying, I think they also need it same as Arsenal also. So still game on. Let's see how the manager reacts to the game now, because the last 45, I mean the second 45 minutes will now be the most crucial part in this game.
Well, gradually going to the defining moment of this encounter. What a game of football it's been so far at the Emirates Stadium. Right there in North London. Now, Arsenal, if they drop point today, depending on they either lose their lead if Man City keep winning their game, or they stay on the same point.
Well, as it is now, Arsenal are ahead based on the live table now, on live standing rather, with 3 points and 1 game in hand, and I think Arsenal still have probably better go different than Manchester City. But let's see. But I just hope Arsenal can be able to take all 3 points in this game.
Wow, look at that ball
from Sanchez.
Sanchez almost spilled into the back of
I think that was a let off there for him.
Look at this one from Malam Sarr. I couldn't convert. Look at this. What's this? And this comes the goal.
And I think also in the league today, earlier on we saw games that went down. Brighton defeating Nottingham Forest by 2-1, and also Fulham. I think it's high time we start looking at Tottenham Hotspur now, because it's looking very bad for them. In the whole of 2026, they've not won any game in the league.
And it looks like they might be relegated.
I don't think they will get relegated, because you see Nottingham Forest and West Ham, they're not doing well enough. I think either of Nottingham Forest and West Ham will go down, and Tottenham will be very close also, because the other guys are not taking advantage. Tottenham have not won any game in the league the whole of 2026, and despite that, Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa, they are still about
really
3-4 points behind them.
They are really close. West Ham, that is on the 18th spot, is just 4 points away.
Yeah, that's like they need to win at least 2 games.
Yeah.
They need to win 2 games. They don't even need to win 1 and draw 1. They need to win 2 games and hope Tottenham will lose. And looking at Tottenham, their features are not even helping. They have tougher features at the moment compared to their opponents.
Oh, I think they have more quality than their opponent.
Well, they have more quality, but I don't think those quality are in form at the moment. They are not playing better. If they're in form, they won't be where they are now. And I don't think it's looking like a fluke. I don't think it's a manager issue, or I think it's probably player and recruitment issue also,
And they have a
because
lot of injury worries.
they have injury worries. But I don't think they should be doing be doing this bad, because they've been able to put out players. They bought for big money, and still yet they cannot win games.
Would you say Xavi Simons will be regretting not coming to Chelsea and choosing?
Well, I don't think he should be regretting, because he's not doing anything exceptional for the team. If he had been the only one, or carrying the team, then things are not good. Then he'll be looking at I'm trying and other. But now, including him, we saw the disastrous performance he had against Arsenal. He was dispossessed the most other of his teammates in that game. So I don't think he should be regretting. If he had joined Chelsea, well, things could have been different from him. He would have found himself probably where Chelsea are now. And who knows? Maybe he might be balling better than the way he's dealing at Tottenham
Chelsea
right
actually
now,
played differently
compared to Tottenham Hotspur.
compared to Tottenham Hotspur. So let's still see. It's still football. It's still a long way to go at the end of the day. So, it's halftime in that game between Chelsea and Arsenal. Predict what will go down in the second half. What will your prediction be?
Well, I'm looking at Arsenal getting the win. Probably to end the game might end 2-1, or who knows? We might be seeing more goal. I don't think Arsenal have done bad, and at the same time, I don't think they've had the best of performance also in this game. But you could see, you look at the way the game has been going, you will see that I think they can still nick it, taking all 3 points in the second half.
So you feel Arsenal can just nick it?
Yeah.
Well, you heard Paul right there saying Arsenal can nick it. It's still anybody's game. There's still 45 minutes to go. So we'll go for a very short break. Yeah, well, it's almost second half, and we'll be back.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Talk Sport, where football meets analysis, passion meets perspective, and headline tells a bigger story. This is Premier Sports Fan Center, and my name is Yinka Adebuyi. Friends call me the Doc around here. Tonight we unpack three major developments shaking the football world, and Tottenham's dramatic decision to sack Thomas Frank, Benjamin Sesko's last gasp heroics for Manchester United, and Cristiano Ronaldo's reported frustration in Saudi Arabia. A story that could reshape global football once again. This is not just about results. It is about pressure, legacy, ambition, and power. Let's begin in North London. And joining me tonight for the analysis of these beautiful topics and subjects of football is Pauloski. Paulo, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So we go straight into North London right now, and we're looking at Tottenham Hotspur sacking Thomas Frank. Panic on necessity. On 11 February 2026, Tottenham Hotspur dismissed Thomas Frank after only 8 months in charge. The final blow, a 2-1 home defeat to Newcastle, a result that leaves Spurs 16th on the league table, just 5 points above relegation zone. For a club that speaks about project and long-term vision, this feels like a sharp contradiction. You will agree with me. Was Frank the problem, or is Tottenham structure the real issue? We will find out very, very soon. Spurs have been stuck between ambition and instability for years. From Mourinho to Conte to Postecoglou, and now Thomas Frank. And now, was sacking Thomas Frank the correct football decision, or another example of Tottenham lacking patience and direction? Paulo.
Well, I think it's both because I look at Tottenham Hotspur and what they've done. I think they've looked at other clubs, in the league, and they look at the team itself and the brand itself called Tottenham Hotspur. A team like Tottenham Hotspur should not be flirting with, relegation. And you look at Tottenham, they believe that if the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea could sack their manager and bring on interim or probably new managers, and suddenly, they're on the rise. I think they themselves, can also do it. But I think Tottenham Hotspur, they don't have that patient enough. Apart from, I think the longest I've seen a manager stay with them should be probably Mauricio Pochettino, who was able to guide them to about 200 plus games. Apart from him, I don't think there's any manager that's lasted up to 120 games with them. We remember Mourinho coming on, Antonio Conte, Nuno Espirito Santo, and Jibo. So all of them all together. So, but at the same time, they want to look at clubs that have been, patient enough to give, managers, time. But you look at Tottenham, I think where Tottenham is getting it strong is not about the managers. I think it's the recruitment of players, which the board have not, addressed. So, if you ask me, like the question, I think it's a combination of both.
Right, so a combination of both. It might be perhaps the management is missing something, and perhaps the players need some rejigging. And at 16th place and flirting with relegation danger, is this squad underperforming, or is the club's recruitment model fundamentally flawed? I know you said something about recruitment the other time, but assertively, I'd like you to talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's both. The team is underperforming, and the recruitment is very, way below the standard is supposed to be at Tottenham. I could remember the days they had the likes of Harry Kane, Heung-min Song, they have Van Tojin, they have Toby Adeweb, Ugo Loris, and you look at Sport right now. I don't think there's any players there that I can say this is an elite player at the moment. All they have are just flashy players that perform once in 2 months, not just once in a month, once in 2 months.
And Solanke
and co. And they have a very, very rough tackling captain. Talking about Cristiano Romero, he's not a reliable defender. So I think they have issue with recruitment. They've not been able to bring in the right caliber of players that the club needs to move forward. Though some will say they've been spending a lot of money. Yes, they've been spending monies on those players, but are they the right profit? Are they the right fit? And how do Tottenham itself want to play as a football club? Are they bringing the players that can play the Tottenham Hotspur way? I don't think so. So I think first of all, they've made a lot of mistakes in recruitment, and secondly, the players they've brought in, they are underperforming, and now they are flirting with relegation. And there's a possibility. I think I saw it. Is it this morning that they have about 70% chances of going to down to the relegation? And what Tottenham Hotspur fans should be worried now is that they need to look at the teams below them. You have the likes of Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Burnley, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think Burnley and Wolf will definitely go down, but West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and Tottenham Hotspur will have to battle it out. We saw Nottingham Forest yesterday, almost getting all 3 points. But
same with West Ham.
Yeah, and now and Tottenham Hotspur, it's finding it difficult to defeat those 3 teams. And you look at the fixtures that Tottenham have these days now. In fact, the whole of 2026, Tottenham have not won any game in the Premier League. So it's looking very, very dim for them.
Right, so it looks really, really bad for Tottenham. You can hear it right there from Paulo. And this instability we're talking about, does it actually damage Tottenham's attractiveness to top managers and elite players moving forward?
Yeah, I think it does, because when you have managers that have, top elite managers that have coached there in the past, coming and living there and complaining. We remember Jose Mourinho, what he talked about Tottenham. Antonio Conte, the same thing. And even Ange Postecoglou, Espirito. I think any top managers now will be looking at, the sport project and be looking at it's not a really, really viable one.